Over to you.
Good afternoon, friends. Nice to be with you guys today afternoon. And the young, they are very infectious in their enthusiasm, in their motivation, in their commitment, and in their raw energy. You all, when I see punt batting, I remember you guys. You are in a different era, at a different moment, much different than what we were at your age. Exams are close, and believe me, exams will happen, come what may. And there's no way by which this can not happen. And when I say this, I would like to first congratulate all you students for standing up to this crisis. I congratulate all you teachers for being with them on their side. I compliment all the parents too for supporting your children all the time and for standing with them, standing at them, standing behind them, and standing around them. At the same time, my condolences to every family who have lost somebody during COVID, who have lost a neighbor, a friend's father, a friend's mother, a friend's uncle, an acquaintance, somebody whom you have seen rarely, and my deepest condolences to each one of you for this loss. Having said that, let me talk about the topic today. Okay, we have a lot of fears, and when we say fears, I look at this topic as exams and COVID, fears, facts, and fun. And now let's look at the fears. We all had these fears all across our lives during exams. I had it too. And when we look at fears, the first fear is, I might not do well. Will I do well? Itna sab kuch pada hu. Will I be able to really reproduce there in the examination hall in a couple of hours? Will I remember my answer? Will I go blank? Will I score? Will I accomplish my goals? I want to become a company secretary, a chartered accountant, MBA in finance later. Will I be able to do it? Will my parents be happy? They are never happy at what I do. But some of the parents are very, very cool. These are the fears. When I look at will I do well? I do not know. It depends upon how much you have worked, how smartly you have worked, and how much you have taken care of your brain. Because brain is a very sensitive person, a very sensitive human being. Bheje se panga loge, to bheja tumhara what laga diga, will screw you royally. So have you taken care of your brain is something which is so important, which means brain needs good sleep, brain needs a lot of activity, brain needs good nourishment, and girls especially. Not 2 rotis in a day, good nourishment. Brain doesn't recognize your figures. It needs good food, good sleep, good water. It also needs good relaxation and also needs to be very kind. And if you do all these things, brains work. So will I do well? Yes, that's a fear. Will I remember? Well, I'll come to that. Becoming blank in the examination, I'll come to that a little later. Will I score? Yes, whatever you were destined to get, whatever effort you have put, you'll definitely score. Will I accomplish? Maybe yes, if you're consistent. Will your parents be happy? Your parents will stand by you, come what may. You will stand by your own children. Their parents stood by them. So even if they're angry, remember, Indian parents are angry. They talk a lot, but remember, behind the anger is love. They're not angry against your friends' children. They're not angry against your neighbor's children. They're angry against you because they love you. And that is something you need to really look at. And then when we look at these fears, I need to put some facts across. And the facts are, number one, kids are very profound. Children are very profound. The more they get educated, the profundity goes down. Children are more resilient than adults. There's a lot of halla about mental health of children. Yes, it's important. Yes, it is affected around the time of COVID. Yes, it is affected by difficult parents. It's affected by poverty. It's affected by financial loss. It's affected by that. But on the whole, kids are very resilient. Kids are also COVID warriors. So many of them actually force their parents to wear the mask So many of them are asking the parents and the grandparents to take the vaccine. And many of you, after exams, should actually volunteer at vaccination centers. Volunteer to help the health staff ease and relax. You could be placed in different places where you can really do COVID work. Kids also need to be heard. So when parents talk to kids, if they're there around them, remember, they need to be heard. And that I think is so important. So let's look at the facts, let's look at the fears, and now let's look at the fun. And as I look at the fun, dance your way to the exams. That is the acronym for today. Dance your way to the exams. Okay. And dance would start from distract from the context. What exactly is the context? Well, TV invades your drawing room that talks only about Corona. Thank God IPL is on. Football leagues, I don't know. So when you distract from the context, let your parents not discuss COVID all the day. Tell them you can discuss for an hour, update, and rest of the time you need to discuss a lot of other things. Let them not discuss about your exams all the time. Tell them exam discussions, shop talk and study talk, both are important. COVID talk for 2 hours, for half an hour, study talk for half an hour, and the rest, as and when you converse with the parents, they need to do shop talk. A family that is relaxed does very well. Studies are like water, they evaporate when boiled. So it's so important to understand that the temperature of the house is very important. So distract from the context by doing a lot of other things, stupid things. One of my friend's daughters said, I simply mimic an actor. I sing songs which I remember. I dance without reason. I cry when I have to cry. I don't care. And at times, I also laugh without reason. And so you can use any of your distractions. Each one of us would have different distractions. Because each one of us have developed some mood lifters and mood shifters based on their own natural persona. And that I think is very important. Ask your difficulties. All the teachers of the college should be available to you right up to the exams. No excuses. Pick your phone. See, account is so difficult. You put something here, and that on the other side, it goes haywire. And eco, my God. OC can write something. Eco, my God. So remember, never be ashamed to ask your difficulties. It distracts you from the COVID virus. It keeps your attention on the job. And at the same time, keeps teachers busy. And they also find meaning in life when they explain to you what you do not understand. So all the teachers be available at certain points of time to all your students. And remember, when you call up your teacher, if they give you their numbers, their husband or their wife might pick up the phone, talk nicely to them so that they hand over the phone to your teacher so that you can ask your difficulties. Ask your difficulties with your peers. Don't bother whether you have scored 95 in 10th standard and how will I ask my difficulty when I was the topper in my school? Who cares? All these marks are not at all important after 5 years. Nobody will ask you how much you have got in the 10th or the 12th. So nobody cares if you have been a topper in the 10th standard and you're ashamed to ask your difficulties in the 12th. Ask your difficulties. DAN, never give up. Sometimes accounts gets very difficult. Sit on it. Put the book under your pillow till you understand the subject. That's the hallmark of Indians and Chinese. They don't give up. Americans say, well, we don't understand mathematics, we give up. We don't give up. So never give up on any subject, though you know which subjects are your strong points and which subjects are not as good as they ought to be. So never give up. Consistent studies, though it's a very boring sentence, I'm telling you, really very boring. Consistently study, boss. But sometimes you're very scared because you did not start your studies in June. You said, I'll wait till September. Then what happens is when on June, it's a small mountain, the entire studies. Sometimes in August, September, it becomes the Satpura range, the Kalsubai Park. And somewhere 1 month before the exam, you look at your study, it's like Mount Everest. And you get paralyzed. I will not study at all. But I'll tell you, if you start today, still you will cross the bridge and you'll do very well. Even if you start today, ask your teachers the important subjects, the important chapters, and study as much as you can. Don't look at the syllabus. Don't look at the syllabus. Study as much as you can. When you study as much as you can, you'll reach somewhere. You'll reach somewhere. So even today, if you feel that you have not done well across the year, you have had a lot of fun, a lot of cannabis and other things, still start your studies today and you'll be able to do it. Consistent studies is important. Sometimes it's boring. Kohli always says, It's boring to score 1 and 2, but in life, in a life of a cricketer, the ordinary boring shots are as important as the fours and the sixes. So consistently study. Ease your pain. Many ways, many ways. I used to do exercise at home when I was young. I used to just go up and down, walk up and down, do some running, some walking, some pull-ups and push-ups. And when I sweat, I would feel that the pain is eased, my stress is much less. Some of you also have a habit of working on your breath. Breath is such a simple thing now. It's actually cool to breathe slowly. It's cool to breathe slowly, inspiration, and cool to also have expiration. Technically, it is known as pranayam. Technically, the US Navy has advised all its sailors on their ships, on their warships, to do pranayam. So when you breathe slowly and really let the expiration also be slow, what happens is your brain, the parasympathetic nervous system and the sympathetic nervous system attains a balance. Your mind is calm, your absorption is more, your recall is better, and your marks are much better. So important to understand. I'm not saying the US Navy has asked its sailors in all the ships to do pranayam and yoga. Well, I'll say that in English accent, not pranayam. Pranayam and yoga, and that's something which is very useful. Do it for 10 minutes. It eases your pain. You can do any other things. You can do a Naukar mantra. You can also go to Thakurji in your house, or Lalo, or Jhulelal. And you'll find that your pain is eased, your anxiety is less, your heart beats slowly, your breathing is good, and all the words on the page dances and reaches your brain much faster. You know what? Studies is an anti-gravity exercise. And some of you guys are so smart, you sleep and study, and you say that if the books are higher up, the words will fall into the brain. Doesn't happen. So when the mind is eased, absorption is much better, and that is very important. So as you start the dance, distract from the context, ask your difficulties, never, ever give up, do consistent studies. And then you have dance and ease your pain, then it's yours. What is yours? What are your expectations? My father wants me to join my business after I do my chart accountancy. My father wants me to do an MBA finance. My father wants to ask me to do an MBA abroad so that you join his business. Fine, that's fine. But what are your expectations? What's happening inside you? What's the inner voice telling you? Allow the inner voice to tell you whatever it wants to. But remember one thing, this time focus only on the 12th. Only on the 12th. All those who are in 12th science, they expect a lot of parents, and a lot of parents ask them, "Tum doctor banoge na?" And I tell all the kids, tell them not to ask this question, just focus on your studies. Your expectation is to maintain peace, study as much as you can, laugh with your friends on the phone, crack a lot of jokes, do a little exercise, and sleep well as much as you can. And you'll find that things are much, much, much better. Always one subject at a time. Sometimes what happens is you take the OC book. My God, I don't know eco. You throw the OC book, you pick the eco book. My God, I've not finished accounts. Throw the eco book and pick up the accounts book. Keep all other books aside. Pick up one subject at a time. Depends upon your style. Each one of us has a different style. Some of us do many subjects in a day. Some of us have a timetable for a week. I'll finish so much in a week's time. Monday, I might run slow. Tuesday, I might run fast. On Wednesday, I might just stop. Thursday, I might do a sprint. Friday, I might do a marathon. And on Saturday, I might do a long jump and finish as much as you can. And if you prepare a timetable for the week, remember, if you finish 70%, you're good. And when you do one subject at a time, there'll be a lot of calls from friends. And there are friends who scare you. I finished 3 revisions. Let him get lost. Let her get lost. Don't talk to these guys at all. Let it 3 karna yaar. Mere baap ka kya jata hai? Stay away from all those guys who scare you. I did 5 revisions. I did 7 revisions. Don't worry at all. One good revision is good enough for the exams. And even if you don't finish everything, remember, there are options. So, one subject at a time. Understand your strengths. You're good at eco. You're not very good at accounts. You're excellent at OC. And you'll find that accounts, maybe you're very good at accounts. You get 100 of 100. Not very good at eco. So do not read a subject just because you're very good at for a long time. Consolidate on what you know and chip on other subjects which you find difficult so that you don't waste your time, excessive time in the subject you know, or excessive times on a subject you're not good at. So understand your strengths and work. Raise your bar, boss. कोयले को जब हम प्रेशर में डालते हैं तब हीरा बनता है. When the coal goes through pressure, it becomes a diamond. It doesn't become a diamond just like that. It is not transformed into a diamond. Just if you keep the coal on a table, after 5,000 years, it doesn't get transformed into a diamond. When coal goes through pressure, it becomes a diamond. So raise your bar. No, yeah, why raise your bar? 70 is enough. We'll see when happens at BCom. No, raise your bar. When I say raise your bar, I mean get better every time. And you'll say, what's the use? I'll get admission in HR college for BCom. It's not the admission at BCom. When you raise the bar, you become more disciplined. You become more stronger. Your aspirations improve and you get much better much later. So when you raise your bar slowly in the 12th, your performance in FI BCom will improve. Your performance in CA entrance will improve. Your performance in other exams improves. Don't remain just sluggish and sit on the sofa and say, "Etla malyo to bahut thegi bhai, bahut tension levanu." Nati. Em nati karwanu mota bhai. Raise your bar all the time and see that you try to do as well as you can. And when you do all that, you're also a little jealous. My friend, he studies only for 2 hours and he gets 90. And I study for 2 days and I get 7. No issues at all. 12 does not test your talent. 12 does not test your talim. 12 marks would not define your future. 12 marks would not define how much money you make, how healthy you are, and how happy you are. This is just a practice exam wherein you learn to concentrate, learn to transcribe what you know, and learn to process your thinking so that you can do that much better later in your years. So remember to raise your bar, and if you're very jealous of your friend, "Tu kaisa yaar 2 घंटे में पढ़ता है और इतना करता है?" No issues at all. After some time, you might catch up. And after some time, when you find a slot, what you enjoy, you may do much better than all the others. So dance your way. Now it's the way. Why study, yaar? Well, there's no big deal. What the dash? I mean, what the hell? We'll study in TY BCom. Let's catch up later. It's COVID times. COVID pe bill फाड़ने का बहुत आसान है. Everybody is फाड़ing bill in COVID. Dad, you don't know, I'm so tense about COVID. I don't want to study. No. Why study? I study because I respect myself. I study because I want to learn as much as I can. I study because I want to be in an inspirational, aspirational race. I study because I have to be honest to what efforts my parents take for me. I study because I want to be respectful to my teachers who take a lot of effort. I study because my fundamentals have to be clear. I study because my basics have to be clear. That's why I study. And to study because that's meaning in life. पढ़ाई और पहलवानी का उम्र निकल गया तो गया. And that is something which is very important. Accept realities. Maybe because of the COVID, you may have, your family may have lost money. There could be trouble inside the family. There could be other things. But remember, if you want to really solve the issues of the present, education is one of the most important armaments for the youth. People may snatch your girlfriend or your boyfriend. People may snatch your wealth. People can snatch your house, even all what you have inherited. But nobody can snatch your knowledge. Accept reality as it is. Oh, why am I staying in this 4-bedroom hall? My friend stays in the bungalow. Why my dad and mom fighting all the time? My friends' dads and moms don't fight. Why am I only 5 feet 4 inches? Everybody is 5'7". Why am I so fair when others are wheat complexion? Why is my nose not as chiseled as my friend? Accept yourself exactly as you are, and to be healthy, accept your body exactly as it is. When you feel good, you look good. How you feel defines how you look and not otherwise. And when you feel good, a crooked nose looks much better, your eyes glow and your cheeks shine, and you're able to concentrate much better. What is also important is why study, accept realities and see that your year is well spent and not wasted. There are many boys and girls, honestly speaking, many boys and girls If the corona is under their chair, they're not bothered. If there's an earthquake under the chair, they're not bothered. They just study. Nothing affects them. My God, they're very rare, but they're there. They're very rare, but they're there. I really envy these boys and girls. I get distracted very easily. I get anxious very easily. But there are some guys like that who believe that kuch bhi ho, hum padhai karenge. There's something to learn from them. And see to it that this year is well spent, not by just partying all the time, not just by blaming what's happening around us. It's beyond us. It's beyond us. It's happened before. It's happened 100 years ago. It happened during the World War I, World War II. It happened in floods, earthquakes, and cyclones. It happened in your father's lifetime, in your grandfather's lifetime. These calamities will always happen. But spend your year and do not waste anything with respect to your studies. And sometimes you may feel that your marks has been less in the last year. In some of those tests, the marks have been less. How will it improve? What you get in the last exam is not it does not reflect your talents or your abilities. But if you have issues about certain subjects and you're not able to score, ask your teachers the trick of scoring. They know it very well. Ask your teachers how to absorb a concept. Ask your teachers how to work around a difficulty. Ask your teachers how to work around a theory in economics or a mathematical problem in the account. And remember, the more you're close to your teachers, the better you are. And remember, no shame at all. If you are ashamed to ask a question, you'll never grow emotionally. Kill your shame and seek your help. And see to it that the year is well spent and not wasted. Dance your way to the exams, to town. Travel only when necessary. Oh, I just want to chill, man. I'm tired, mom. I'll come back in an hour. And you might say, I'll just go across to a friend's house and spend an hour's time and come back. But you do not know where your friend has been. He must have been to Goa. Other day in my building, they did a random checkup of people and they found 5 families positive because they traveled, because this virus may have asymptomatic patients. So be careful. So do not travel when not necessary. Travel only when necessary. Then you might say, we are young boys, we can't really rest at home. You know how we are. We need to actually do something physically. We need to do something, otherwise we get bored. I get absolutely irritable. And a lot of families are very irritable around COVID. Probably your family too. And how to break this irritability? Number one, go and ask your mother. Tamne gusso etla kem ave che? Don't ask in English. Don't ask in very pure English. Because even if they know English, the mother tongue is more appealing. And ask your mother, who's very irritable, what is the one cause which is really, really disturbing you? If your father is very irritable, ask him, what is the one reason which makes you irritable? And they might come up with these answers. I'm very scared of this virus. I'm very scared something might happen to us. I'm very scared if something happens to us, what will happen to the family? Or I'm very scared about my business because we don't know what's going to happen. I've taken a big loan, 8 crore loan for my business, and everything is shut. And once he utters this phrase openly in the family, half of the anxiety goes down, irritability is over, and the family becomes one. Research has shown that families that are connected and are supportive to each other do much better. And safety, being safe from the virus and being connected is good health. Travel only when necessary, and you find yourself that your parents are irritable, hug them when they're in a mood, sit down with them, look into their eyes and say, Dad, tell me why you're so jumpy, why you're so irritable. Don't shout at them and say, you don't understand me. I'm also a teenager. Don't do that. Teenagers can also counsel their parents during difficult times. I'm not saying the entire process of counseling, but even touching their hearts and saying, Tame came irritable to, and that will really help them to share. And you'll find that when they share, everybody becomes calm. Own up to your responsibility. Your responsibility is to study as of now. Your responsibility is not to earn bread for your family. Your responsibility is not also to blame people around. I can't study, mom, because you guys are so difficult. You're so painful. Let them have their fights. Let them do what they want. You sit down and study. Your responsibility is to actually study. But if you're very disturbed, as I've said, go and talk to your parents. If it doesn't work, and if you still feel very disturbed and you can't concentrate, Immediately talk to your favorite teacher and find out an answer. Find out an answer. And if your parents are fighting and you've tried your best to really ease their fight and you failed, tell yourself, मैं नफरत का वारिस नहीं बनूंगा, मैं अपने पढ़ाई कर. I learned from my parents what not to do and I'll go ahead in life. Dance your way to the exam. And what does the say? Be close to your family. I still remember many families have lost their jobs, have lost a lot of money also. And among Indian families, especially Gujaratis, Sindhis, and other South Indians and North Indians, they don't share the financial liabilities with the children. They don't want to hurt the children. But they do not know that children know it all. Their ears are open, their eyes are open. The simplest minds are the most profound, and they understand something is wrong. So don't lie. One day, be a frontline counselor, a mental health warrior, even around the time of exam, and let the family sit down and tell your father, I know what's happening, my dear dad. I know what's happening, mom. But let me tell you, I will do my work the way I have to. I'm not scared and worried about the future. We all will come out of it very easily and with all our effort. And even if you don't believe it, when you start saying it, you start believing it. When you start saying positive things, the mind absorbs those positive things, you start believing it. It does not mean always that you need to feel positive from inside to really be positive in action. No, when you start talking positive things, I will do well in my exams, I'll study hard, I'll study as much as I can, in spite of what is happening in the family, in spite of the fact that everybody has COVID fears, there are one family member who's quarantined, the other is in hospital, I'll do my best. And slowly you start doing your best. It's not that things change from the soul to the skin, but sometimes we start talking, our positive attributes, the positive vibes and energy penetrates the skin and gets into the soul. Hug your loved ones. Even if your father is Gabbar and your mother is Mahakali, even if your father is stoic and your mom is absolutely wry and reticent, hug them every day. It makes a lot of difference. And they'll say, Achanak tujhe kya hua? Suddenly, how the hell you start hugging me? Do you want any money? Son, you want to go out today? Tell me straight. Don't start applying, attempting to manipulate me. No. Tell them that in the school, the college, Dr. Harish Shetty had come. And he did not tell all this, but Professor Laju Sharma and Professor Anupama Sawant and Professor Bharti Sharma said, hug your parents every day. Emne kasu kaam nathi, em nathi mota bhai, em nathi papa, hug kari to badda stress ocha thai, tamaru pan ocha thai, maru pan ocha thai. And hug them without reason. As slowly you'll find we all become like small puppies. You know what, my dear friends? Inside us, each one is innocent. And when you're able to touch that innocence, performance improves, mind relaxes, and you're able to do extremely well because connectivity, we all get connected much stronger than what we were. And when you start hugging your parents, what happens is we accept the other person exactly as he is. The father feels अपना बेटा है 50 मिला तो भी मेरा बेटा है 90 मिला तो भी मेरा ही बेटा है मैं उसके साथ नहीं छोड़ूंगा I will always stand next to him or her whatever it is she is my daughter whatever she gets she is my daughter and that really eases out a lot of stress and tension at the same time eagerly wait for exams don't say postpone hoga I'm sure the exams are going to get postponed I'm sure it's going to get postponed don't wait for that don't wait for any postponement exams are going to happen come what may and plan for the date which has been announced and eagerly wait for the exam. When you're eagerly waiting for the exam, your joy improves. The happiness comes up. And when happiness actually comes up, performance also improves. When you say, Arey, yaar, you know what, no man should get postponed. When mothers are pregnant with the children and they did not want the child and they always say, I did not want the child. I wanted to really work hard for 2 years on. And then I don't know how I got pregnant. Attachment disorders happen. And they're not happy with the kids after they are born. And kids, once they grow, do not have attached relationship with the parents. So talk positively. Exam aane wala hai, andar se dar lagta hai, I get scared, I get scared from inside. But at the same time, I'm really waiting with a lot of excitement. There's tension in the body, but the tension in the mind. But at the same time, it's a mixture of tension and joy. Let me finish it off. Let me finish the exams completely so that I can go and do an internship somewhere. I can go and work somewhere. I can work in a COVID center. I can assist a COVID center with some activities. I can ease the stress of the healthcare staff in the hospitals by doing little work, which is very useful during COVID times. So tug yourself to your family, hug your loved ones, and eagerly wait for the exams. Dance your way to the exams. E. Well. The last slide. Preserve your energy. Before you ask me your questions, the last slide. Preserve your energy. Eat well. All girls, eat well. Eat well. Your shape of your face will not change. Your size and shapes will not change as much as you think. Eat well because brain needs energy. You need to eat home food as much as you can. You need to check your hemoglobin, see that it's good. All you vegetarian guys, check your vitamin B12, D3. And your folic acid. Eat a lot of vegetables and fruits so that your energy is good. Good food actually helps the body. Good food also brings down tension. Food what you like. And energy also improves when you exercise. And there's no need to have always a treadmill inside the house. Walk up and down the house. Surya Namaskar is very cool. Surya Namaskar is very cool. Even sitting down and sit-ups is also very cool. Exercise improves energy. And tell your parents not to fast. Huh? There are some parents who fast. For my son, I'm going to fast on Monday so that he does very well in exams. Your fasting doesn't help your son. You fast if you want to, for health reasons, but see to it that your energy is maintained, not only physical, but mental. How do you maintain your mental energy? Sleep on time. Don't need of watching Begums on Netflix. They are the distractions. Netflix is basically for our carnal desires. Large amount of Netflix and Amazon films are basically for your carnal desires. Stay awake. Staying awake is very dangerous. It disturbs your memory. It will disturb your ability to reproduce what you've read. And remember one thing, sleep deprivation is worse than not being able to sleep. So preserve your energy by sleeping enough. And don't mindlessly pick up the phone and play first-person shooting games, FPS. Don't mindlessly pick up the remote and watch what you think is not important in you. Pick up the remote at 10 o'clock. You do not know how 2 hours would fly. My dear friends, if you sacrifice something, your health will improve, your energy will improve, and your performance also will improve. So energy, manage your energy. Ex-girlfriends and ex-boyfriends are very dangerous at the time of exams. Quarantine them. If an ex phones you up and says, I really miss you, it's really a mistake, baby, I love you, baby. And suddenly you're awake and you're bored studies and suddenly somebody says, hi, baby, you feel nice. Quarantine them immediately before they destroy your mind. So exes you quarantine, stay away from them. Awareness would mean ability to watch your thoughts, feelings, and your sensations. Those who practice some form of meditation. Maybe it's Sudarshan Kriya, or it's Shambhavi Mahamudra, it's Pranayam, it's Preksha Dhyana, it's if they do a little Samak and Pratikaman or Pratikaman. They chant the Gayatri or the Naukar mantra. If they pray to any form of God, where there's some meditative process, awareness improves. When awareness improves, emotions are regulated. When emotions are regulated, energy is better. When emotions are regulated and energy is better, your absorption is better. When your absorption is better, your storage is better. When your storage is better, your answers are better. Exams are all about brain, book to the brain and brain to the pen. And that valve here has to open at the right time for your stuff to be reproduced. So awareness is something which is very important. Mood management. Joy is an attitude. It's not something which will come without your wish. So managing moods is so important, which means what? I will talk positive to myself. I will avoid people who say, I'm damn unlucky. I don't know why. I really wanted to score in the 12th, but this COVID came. They all have excuses. They have enough things to blame. My father doesn't talk to me nicely. I can't concentrate. My mom, what to say. She focuses only on her son and not on me. I don't feel nice. Let people be what they are. Your moods are in your hands. And if you use your mood lifters and your mood shifters the way you feel is appropriate, things will be much better. So managing your moods would mean do everything others which helps your mood. Stay away from cannabis, for God's sake. Stay away from alcohol, for God's sake. Cannabis is not safe. Oh, okay, if you go to the Google and type brain in cannabis, you'll see the brains in cannabis. It destroys your brains. So no intoxicants for mood management. The best mood management is your self-talk. What do you tell yourself? Whom do you relate to? How easy you are able to share your feelings with your loved ones. How easy you do not block your sadness, you do not block your anger, and talk to your loved ones very openly. Exercise improves mood. Exercise dissolves fears, tears, and anger, and really improves your mood. Talking to right people improves your mood. But remember one thing: you can't be joyous and happy all the time. Huh? There'll be moods going up and down. But overall, you are at peace. Overall, you're able to manage yourself well, and that I think is what is mood management. Sleep, I've talked about. Self-talk. Tell yourself nice, positive things. So, my dear friends, as I stop, I would like to share something, just 2-3 lines more before you ask me all your questions. And I'm here to answer as many questions as you need to ask me. People who score well in exams are not necessarily very, very intelligent. Most of them, like me, are very hardworking because brain is 1200 grams and God is a secular guy. He gives equal brains to Gujarati, Shetty, Sindhis, Punjabis, Sikhs, Tamilians. Issue is how well you use it. 1200 grams of bheja given equally by God. Maybe there is some difference inside. Some are linguistically very strong, some are musically very strong, some are good at logical thinking, but billions of cells God has given you. Actually, it depends how you exercise your brain, how well you use your brain, how happy you are when you actually use your brain. When you use your brain around the time of exams, how well connected are you with your teachers? How well connected are you with your parents? How well connected are you with your friends? And remember, come what may, things don't work out your way, and you feel very numb, very paralyzed here, and you just can't concentrate. Remember, जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका साइकोलॉजिस्ट होता है जिसका कोई नहीं होता है उसका मेंटल प्रोफेशनल होता है टॉक टू योर टीचर्स go back to your school counselors or your college counselor and ask them, please check what's happened to me. My brain is paralyzed, I'm emotionally paralyzed, I'm intellectually paralyzed, nothing goes in and nothing goes out, and that's what we need to do. With this, congratulations for being great students. Keep your laughter on, keep your smile on, hug your parents, study as much as you can, see that you sleep well, and remember, this is one exam in your life. It's not the last exam. It's not the first exam. This is not a make or break exam also. And if you're preparing for some entrance exams after 12th or whatever, see that you prepare for that and see that you help your friends around the time and make these exams a pleasurable one. With this, thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Harish Shetty, sir. Such inspirational words, everything put together in such a compact, concise, and precise manner. Hats off to you, Dr. Harish Shetty. And now, may I throw open the floor for the question answer round? Students, there is a suggestion. Rather than putting your questions in the chat box, we would really appreciate if you unmute yourself and ask the question directly to Dr. Shetty. Okay, you can raise your hand and then you can, straight away ask the question. My volunteers would be guiding you. Rajvi, do you have any question?
No, ma'am, no questions at all. My all fears have just, erased. I am so positive right now. And as you said, I'm eagerly waiting for my exams right now. It's okay if it doesn't get postponed because I am just super motivated to get back to my books and do the best I can. So truly, it was so motivational.
Any questions, Devansh, Rishabh, and any questions, students?
Okay,
Someone
ma'am,
has raised their hand. Yeah.
So I'll just unmute the person who's raised his hand, and then Devansh and me can ask questions.
Perfect.
Hello, good afternoon, sir, and dear ma'am. Sir, my question is like in India, why is this board exam so overrated? Like,
Absolutely. I think I have an answer which a student has posted. And her name is Anushri. She appeared for exams of late. And she says that as students, we are constantly being told about board exams and how it shapes our future from the very beginning. This starts a vicious cycle and we find ourselves in a hole. The constant pressure takes away the true essence of learning and sole purpose of studying. And she adds, what personally helped me is listening to music, writing poems, reading books, continue to do what you love, and a good night's sleep, eat healthy, take necessary precautions. And the don't, she said, is avoid last minute revisions, avoid talking to anxious friends and close relatives. So I think it's a system which has really screwed us very badly. But remember, going back now, looking back in my own life, for me, 12th was important because of my entry to MBBS, and that 12th was very, very important. In commerce, as you look behind, the cumulative gain which you learn, with the cumulative learning which you get across exams, and what you do across time after, and as you learn every day, and as you improve your learning, and you mine gold from every conversation, from every teacher. There's no teacher is bad. A teacher who has taught for a few years has something new to teach. When you mine gold from every conversation, when you learn from your peers and your friends, that's what you actually become. So I'll tell you, this boards again is the hype. It will go away after the new education policy comes. But what is important is exams are there. अभी एग्जिस्टेंशियल प्रश्न पूछ के कोई फायदा नहीं यार. अभी तो जो लगे हैं ना अपन युद्ध भूमि, we are in the Akshay, we are in the war zone. Hands are with the books, the gun, and the examination will be held. So do as best as you can, but don't ever tell yourself these are the marks which define me. They don't define you. 12th does not test your talents at all. It just gives you basic concepts for the future in commerce. That's all. So don't tell if you get 95, your future is not made. And if you get 75, you're not a zero. If you get 95, you're not a hero. So just go ahead, be in the race, keep smiling, talk to friends. When you feel like crying, cry. When you get anxious, say my heart is beating. And if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend who's stable, just try and have a word with them, and you'll find that you will be much better. But never have a breakup during these board exams, huh? No breakup, and don't propose to anybody. Very dangerous, huh? If you want to break up
yes,
after the
sir,
exams, please.
that's not the case right now.
And I'm not talking about you, Akshay, I'm talking about everybody else. But I think your answer is very valid. Just do your best as much as you can, and you'll find yourself after 10 years looking back, oh my God, it was not something very big.
And sir, I would also like to add this is a modern world. The world is changing at a very high rate. So we students, like most of the children in our young age, we are exposed to mobiles and all technologies, and we are like more addicted to it. So how can we control ourselves?
Well, if you love yourself, अपने मोबाइल को माँ के हवाले कर दो बेटे, and define a time when you'll have your mobile. That's number one. Number two, don't keep your phone along with you when you're sleeping. You're not a doctor, you're not a municipal commissioner, you're not the assistant commissioner of police of your local police station. Number four, don't use your phone for music. Use an iPod or use something else. Number five is to delete all your games for some time if you can. And number six is have a bedroom for the phones in your house. Your daddy's phone, your mom's phone, and your phone should sleep together in a room. Even if you guys don't sleep together, at least the phone should sleep together. And in the morning when you get up, don't pick up the phone. You pick up the brush and not the phone first. And after your breakfast, you can pick up the phone and check a message. So you need to have some amount of self-discipline. And what we found is that when people have a phone on the table and a whiskey bottle, when there's a ring, they don't check the whiskey bottle, but they take the phone. So a physical distance from the phone, handing over the phone to the police officer at home for some time, that also improves your relationship with your parents, is also a very good idea. And all of you friends, if there are a group of 6-7 friends, if you all tell yourself that we're going to talk to each other between this time only, and then we're going to hand over the phone to your mother and your father with all the 3 locks, the eye lock, the finger lock, the eye lock, and the number lock. And that's a very good idea. And then I think that's during our time it was a TV. There was no phone. So we would say no TV till the exams, and after TV, then after the exams you watch all the programs. That's how it was. Even during Madam Sharma's time, I believe there were no WhatsApp, no phones, and no cell phones. So that's how it is. So a little amount of self-discipline, Akshay, is very, very important.
But we do have to refer devices for the notes and for important
Absolutely,
notices.
absolutely. Please do it as much as you can. But remember, when you actually scroll through the notes, you suddenly scroll through the YouTube and watch a video. You do this and you do that. But you can watch some videos which are very, very good and laughable, and you enjoy. But the point is, if you hold the phone in your hand for a long time, when you're sleeping, if you see the distance between you and the phone, if it's shorter, your sleep is much less. If it's far away, your sleep is much better. So you need to use your discretion to use your phone as much as you think you should be using.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, sir. I would like to ask, how do you keep like laziness away, and how do you like stop procrastinating? Because right now we all are like just sitting at home and studying, and not like you can like go out or anything like to refresh your mind. So, and it creates a very lazy environment also, like just only being in the house. So how do you like not be lazy and study and not procrastinate?
See, there are different types of kids, okay? There are some kids who are very regular. I spoke about them. Even there's a bomb underneath the chair, they still focus and they still concentrate. करते रहते पढ़ाई उनको homework time पे assignment time पे, and I'm very envious of these guys. And all the moms tell us, you look at them. There are some kids who are chunkers. Chunkers would mean they study for a couple of days, then they take a break, then they study. But towards the end of the close to the exam, they're there. There's some kids, unless they see the date of the exam, they don't start studying. We call them as deadline kids. The fourth is, unless somebody puts a gun on their head, they don't study. And there are some do whatever and they don't study. They will study as and when there's an awakening inside them at some point of time in their lives, and they really bloom after that. Around this time, the best way to break your procrastination is to start studying in small chunks. If you feel, oh, you have to finish accounts 5 chapters today, don't think of 5 chapters. Think about 1/4 of one chapter. If you think that solving the accounts can give you a start, see, all of us have ignitions in our study, and all ignitions are not the same for everybody. For me, the ignition is to start a chapter which I know. So my car starts. Then I can pick up something which I don't know. For some others, I pick up something which I don't know. Till I master that, I cannot go ahead. For some, do not study but just read, which means I don't study, but I start reading. I start reading OC. I start reading OC. Suddenly I get into the mood of studying. It's like pushing a car, and then you put the car into the second gear and it starts. That is also done. Fourth is friends, four or five friends come and they talk to each other on the phone and say, come on, let's do this chapter, and we'll ask each other's one-line answers, not full answers, one-line answers. That's also a good idea to just break your procrastination. Sometimes you need somebody to hit your head and pull you out and read and actually study. So if you have a friend who can pull you out, if you have a brother or a sibling or your parent can pull you out and make you study is also good. But largely breaking things into small chunks help. Starting with a subject which you know, or starting with a chapter which you know helps. Solving sums also can start. So use ignitions which you think is appropriate Purvi. And if you cannot really do anything, talk to your teachers and let them mentor you, supervise you till your exams are over. No, I'm going to call you at 9:30. I'm going to ask you this chapter. I'm going to ask you one-line answers of this chapter. You be prepared. Nothing doing. And then sometimes that pull, that assertive teacher or assertive friend or assertive neighbor can do it. But some largely friends, 5 of them, when they plan to study together online, a small chunk, that also helps you to break the procrastination. But lastly, some people are professional procrastinators. जब तक last minute का thrill नहीं आता है, now 3 days to exam, now I'm going to study. That can help you in 12th. That will not help you in MBA. That will not help you in CA, in CS. So you need to break that habit. But as of now, my dear Purvi, just start reading. Even if you're not studying, Just start answering small sums. Don't think about the portion. When you think about the portion, you get paralyzed on the page. When you think about the page, your portion gets completed. Thank you, Purvi.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Just one more small thing, like because everything is now online. Okay, so earlier, like you said, comparatively to this situation, we used to have a gunpoint on our heads by our probably college teachers, tuition teachers, everyone. But now, online is more like an easy way out, and it's very tempting to take the wrong way, or to just say that okay, I'll just copy today and probably study the same chapter tomorrow. So
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
now
That
it's
happens.
now it's not now it might not help much, but the exams are there. But generally, if such a situation comes up ahead, how do you like stop that temptation, or how do you tell yourself that you got my question?
I think peer pressure is better than beer pressure. I would request every kid to get one call from the college, from any teacher. I mean, you take turns, and who calls up every kid once a week and say hi, how are you? Or you have your commanders. You may have educational commanders, or your peer counselors, or your mental health soldiers. You can call up. But Purvi, this exam is an unusual exam when you go offline and write. And probably some of you may not score as much as you are capable of scoring. Some of you may not score as much as you ought to score. But as of now, some of us should accept, should lower their expectations around this difficult time. But what is very important is, apart from online answering, close your online books and practice answering an exam at home. Practice answering a paper completely at home, and that I think is very important. Maybe the teacher takes an exam, and it's not counted, it's not tested, there are no marks given, but practice writing an answer at home, not on the computer. Start doing this in very small ways. That you don't have enough time now, but what is important is, next year exams will not be online, and COVID will go away. There's a second wave. There'll be a small third wave also after June and August, and then after that, I'm sure this will go away. So if you have really erred in this year, and if you have not really performed as well as you think, just leave it alone and see that you plan for the next years. That's how it should be. But one plan is answering an answer paper at home as if it's an examination hall. So that also will help you. It may be that you may not answer the full paper, but you may answer half the paper at home. In accounts, solve half the paper of 2010 or 2011. That really helps us plan for an offline exam.
Thank you so much, sir. That was really helpful.
Thank you.
Yes, the next
So
question.
how can we motivate our differently able students?
Yes. Who's asking this?
I'm asking.
Our Vice
Thank you.
Principal Rajesh Sharma, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Yeah,
So
I
we have
saw that.
students, and I know there are many students outside who are listening to you on YouTube.
Yeah.
There might be differently able students among them. How to motivate them and to create the confidence in them?
Absolutely. Differently abled would have probably learning disability, autism, probably slow learner, probably even something else.
Yeah.
Now, what has happened is, mental health of differently able kids are a big challenge as of now, because they need to interact with others, they need to go to schools and colleges, they need company, and all this has been stopped. So many of them are on medications also for attention deficit issues, for so many other issues. So what is very important, ma'am, is all colleges. I'm sure that there are other students of other colleges on YouTube or elsewhere. All colleges should make a list of these children and provide support online, a little extra support, where they would support them emotionally, also support them in academics, and give them small assignments which may not be checked by teachers. It may be checked, it may not be checked, and see that they are performing, they are able to perform. And what happens is achievement. See, achievement index is based upon, uh, so for example, if I have a child of learning disability or autism, uh, I would give him fill in the blanks of an eco chapter. Just fill one word, And then I would give him, say, for example, match the columns. Simple. So what happens is if he starts learning that he is able to achieve, his confidence improves, his desire to study more improves. And then slowly I would give him one-line answers. Then I would slowly ask him chunky answers. And that's how we should gradually progress so that achievement gives confidence. It makes them motivated to read and learn. That is something which you need. At the same time, somebody needs to talk to them and see that the emotional concerns are addressed. And that I think is so important. At the same time, all colleges should have a special cell of teachers and list out those kids whom they reach out to those kids separately outside the classroom in a different class and see that you also support their parents and also encourage them to deal with them effectively without paralyzing them and without really traumatizing them. And that I think is very, very important. So a special attention to us special children is the need of the hour. I had shared this yesterday that in COVID, the marginalized children, children who have no access to phones, children who have LD, children with autism, would be really troubled much more than others because they need other incentives, other interactions which to keep them healthy. So a little more attention by every college, I think, is the need of the hour. Thank you, Ms. Sharma, for asking this question, which is very close to my heart.
Thank you, Doctor. We have a special cell. I just would like to bring to your notice.
Yeah.
We have a special cell for our students, differently able students. And we have a teacher in charge for that.
Oh, lovely. I think that's fantastic.
Yes, we do cater to their needs. And this year I have created writers bank for them.
Oh, lovely.
So, like, every time I keep on getting the questions from the parents, ma'am, we are not able to get writer and all. So this year when my young FIJCs joined, I created writers bank. And I told them it's voluntary for them. Those who are, and you will not believe, sir, we have 80 students in that volunteers group.
Fantastic.
And they are all ready for my 12th standard students to write their paper. And I think this was a great, initiative I took up this time.
Congratulations, ma'am. This should be replicated in every college. I'm saying this because every year parents run around to find a writer. And
yes.
The colleges always tell them, "Tum apna lao writer."
Yes.
These kids who offer to write also will become great human beings, and their emotional development will be complete.
Yes.
That's fantastic. I congratulate all those who have volunteered to be writers for students who have learning disabilities. Congratulations, hats off, ma'am, and every college should follow this principle. I'm very happy to hear this, ma'am. Very happy.
Thank you, sir.
What a great, pleasant surprise.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions, students? Yes.
Akil Sheikh has.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can I ask some personal questions?
Of course. About you and not about me.
Yes, sir, about me.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sir, from the last 2 to 3 months, I am addicted to a drugs. For me, it is a drugs that is trading in stock market. Due to this, I cannot focus on my studying. And I am very depressed. I tried different ways to avoid this trading in stock market. I try some ways that I go to sleep in the morning at 6 o'clock, so that I will not wake up at 9 o'clock and I will avoid trading. But this also not help me to get out from this. I tried this. I go to sleep at 6 o'clock, but I wake up at 10 o'clock and start doing trading. Till now, I am doing trading. How can I get out from this?
So you are addicted to trading, no? Share market trading.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think extremely good question. Thanks for being so bold, Akil, that you are asking such a bold question. But I would like to ask you: are you addicted to any drug?
No, sir.
Okay. Akil, immediately, if you can talk to your teacher and meet a psychologist, that would be the best thing to do. Number one. Number two, if you hand over your Bolt, if your Demat account or all those things to a responsible person, if you are scared to tell your parents, you can hand it over to your principal, your teacher. That also would be a very good idea. Number three is that you will have a lot of craving to do it when you really stop everything. And at that point of time, probably you may need a psychologist, or you may probably need a psychiatrist to help you with that craving. And in eight days, 7 to 8 days, your craving can go down. You can go through the exams, and after the exams are over, you can take a solid psychotherapy for this addiction. I congratulate you for asking this question very openly, and I would ask our teachers here, Anupama Sawant, Professor Bharti Sharma, and my vice principal, to really help you. And please go and contact them at the earliest. There is no shame in this at all, and we don't view this as a bad behavior. I would view this as a sad behavior and somebody who needs help. Congratulations and thank you for asking that question. If there's anything I can do for you, please talk to your vice principal. They have my numbers. I will put you across to somebody who's closer to your house so that you can seek help urgently. Thank you, Akhil. I congratulate you for your boldness.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Harish Shetty, sir, can I ask you a question?
Yes, Anupamaji.
Yeah. I don't know how far this question is related to our today's topic, but then too, I'm going to take the liberty of asking it.
Yeah.
Many of the students in this age group, the age group of about 16 to 20, they suffer from an existential crisis, and many of them keep on wondering, who am I? What is the purpose of my life? So, what is your suggestion, your advice to such students suffering from existential crisis, identity crisis?
There are three options here. There are three different ways. One is that it is a thought process which is there for a very long time, and it's very important to have that thought process. I remember the song of Hrithik Roshan, "Main aisa hoon, main waisa hoon," and and through the process of exploration, they find a meaning in life. And it's not a very dominant issue in their life. But they say, "ये अपनी जिंदगी में मकसद क्या है? अपनी जिंदगी का principle क्या? Why the hell am I alive?" And it can they ask questions, they talk to you, they talk to us, but nobody can guide them and tell them these answers. But the respecting that question, allowing them to struggle, and slowly they find meaning. Number two is a lot of people who have sudden existential questions. Achanak. Then we need to look at the mood state. Has there been any trauma which has occurred of late? Has there been any other issues in life, in the families? After sudden death, some people come to the existential crisis. मैं क्यों जीऊँ? क्या मकसद है जीने का? ये पृथ्वी कहाँ से start हुआ है? ये क्या है? And they need help. They need counseling. They need support, and we need to look whether they are depressed. The third is that suddenly after they take commerce, and they take commerce because they wanted to make it big, they wanted to earn money, and suddenly they see this corona epidemic. And they say, क्या मकसद है यार? एक छोटा सा इनविजिबल प्रोटीन ने पूरी धरती को अपने पूरी धरती को झुका दिया है. तो ये क्या है? And that's the time when people like you, Anupama ji, Bharti ji, and my vice principal man, you need to allow this debate to occur across board, and many of them do very well when they get involved in altruistic activities of helping and assisting the world around. And kindness and assistance are one of the most powerful answers for any existential dilemma. I'm not responsible for my birth. I do not know how this entire universe was created at all. But I think I felt nice by helping 100 migrant laborers have lunch on 3 days. I was so happy when I sat down at the vaccination center and worked as a clerk to assist the vaccination. I felt so happy when my maid who got infected by COVID, I supported the entire family with money. And a lot of them do well. I have a young boy who was asking me this question, has absconded to a new city, and we are trying to chase him. He's about 25, and we'll chase him and we'll bring him back. But a lot of depressed children who are very suicidal might ask this question. So you need to screen them for depression. Sometimes, very rarely, he or she could be a Buddha, and he might become the Buddha. पलायन होने के बाद he might become the Buddha. He or she might become somebody very big. But be around so that they find the answers. This is very, very important. Never make fun of an existential question. Krish,
Uh, Thank you so much for your answer.
thank you, Anupama ji. I saw Krish Chatbar doing something. Anyway,
Sir, as Anupma ma'am just asked you the question about existential crisis,
yeah.
how can we, help our friend who is like thinking about that? Like, how can we support it?
About death, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If anybody in your class ever utters the sentence, I want to go very close to God, I want to go far away from you, I
No,
want,
no, not not at that extreme stage, but like he has question about his life.
like, for example, like Akshay, can you explain to me?
Nah, I don't have that proper like
Anyway,
condition
I will answer it
situation.
broadly, sir. If somebody is disturbed about his life, is upset about his or her life, if somebody speaks about going far away, running away from the house, going to God, wanting to end your life, scared about exams and say that I want to end my life. What is very important is don't start any counseling. Support the person. See that the person is safe. Immediately talk to your teacher who's accessible to you. Talk to your principal, your vice principal who's there, and see that he or she accesses help at the earliest. Don't try to ever counsel anybody who has very difficult thoughts about harming oneself or very frustrating thoughts about life, etc., etc. A lot of people who have had COVID have got depression, and a lot of them talk about death and dying. It's so important for us to see that they reach a professional. Don't ever believe that love, affection, pyar, love, and affection can help treat them. They need professional advice to find out whether they have the fracture of the mind or the sprain of the mind. If there's a fracture, then they need treatment. If they have a sprain, then they actually need love, affection, holiday, and support. And that can only be decided by a mental health professional, not by any student or also any teacher. Thank you for that question, actually.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So while you're handling the YouTube, there were a few questions that came up on the YouTube chat box as well. So
Yeah.
one of them was very incredible, and one it went like, what would you suggest to a child who goes into a negative zone frequently and has aggression, has anger issues, basically? So how can you tackle that as well?
Okay, I would say if the anger issues are part of nature, then somebody would need a lot of counseling, a lot of relaxation exercise, and a lot of therapy in that managing anger, a lot of therapy to calm down the amygdaloid and see that the person is not emotionally hijacked, which is one. But if anger issues have come up recently, suddenly, then probably behind the behavior is a story, and behind the story there are many stories. So we need to look at what started it. Was it a death in the family? Was it financial issues in the family? Was it a breakup? Or was it anemia? Was it low vitamin B12? Was it anxiety? Because a lot of families are irritable because they're anxious about the virus. Fear of infection, fear of virus, and fear of uncertainty. So you need to go behind that anger and actually address the cause. Sometimes anger can be a sign of depression, extreme irritability, psychomotor agitation we call it. I'm so restless and I'm so angry. I feel like walking up and down. मुझे लगता है किसी को मार दो या अपने आप को मारो. बहुत गुस्सा आता है, चिड़पना इतना आता है. This is not adolescence. This is not adolescent anger. This is not adolescent adjustment issues. This is adolescent depression that needs to be treated immediately. Issue is less sleep can cause anger, bad lifestyle can cause also anger, bad diet can cause anger, and difficulties with studies can cause anger. And at the same time, fear of examinations. I promised my mother I'll get so much. I didn't do anything across the year, and now I feel very, very angry on myself. That can also be one of the causes of anger. But the best thing is screen that person through a mental professional to see whether it's stress, distress, or depression. Or is it because of an event, a story, a trauma inside the family, outside the family, around him? But remember, my dear friends, there are many exams worth living for and no exams worth dying for. There are many guys worth living for and no guys worth dying for. By the age of 23, all of you, I bless you with 3 breakups. Well, I don't bless you, but in my research, I find that all of us have at least three breakups till 23rd. And remember, they're all practice matches for us to really develop our own personality and help us understand others much better. So break up, never make fun. Breakup is not because you are bad. It's only because love can have birth, growth, and death. And sometimes rebirth, very rarely. So thank you, Rishabh. Anger can be managed if it's the nature. Anger can be managed if it starts at a point of time. Help is essential. Exercise can dissolve tears, fears, and anger. Yoga can also dissolve tears, fears, and anger. A dance can dissolve tears, fears, and anger. But beyond that, you need to take help.
And so one last question. What would be one habit that you would suggest everyone to adopt after this session?
Learn to forgive your friends and forgive yourself. Be kind to yourself. Don't be harsh on yourself. हाँ, गलती हुई हो गई, एक्सीडेंट था लाइफ का, पढ़ाई नहीं किया. Forgive yourself and learn to forgive others. I think that is one of the most important lessons that this. If your friend has broken off from you, you're in a group and something happened and you stop talking, pick up the phone and say, यार पता नहीं उस दिन क्या हुआ था, पर आज मुझे लगा कि ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए. I think Corona has taught us that we need to connect. We cannot be disruptive, and we need to forgive. Karma has taught us that no visiting card is bigger than the other. We're all horizontal, we're all human. Corona has taught us that no nuclear bombs, no aircraft missiles can really do anything. It is just that it has reminded us that we are all human beings first, and then chartered accountants, doctors, professors, or businessmen. So be kind to yourself and to others. I think that's the only thing I would like to say.
Sir, Bharti Sharma here. I would like to ask something.
पूछिए ना भारती जी, पूछिए ना. आप तो हमारे एग्जाम के.
Yeah, sir. Sir, actually, I want to ask that the most of the students during this period of time, examination time, they have, that heavy mind. Because they know that our parents are also expecting from us. So because I am also a parent, okay, of daughter, okay, I think so that as a parent, just to de-stress your child, you should stop comparison. That expectations and the comparisons are the root cause of. I think so that are the root cause of.
Misery.
Getting hurt, right? So as a parent, that the parent should not expect from the child that this much you will have to get, and they should stop comparison with other children. Am I right, sir?
I think you're right, but I would view it with a very different prism. I would like to say that by nature, human beings compare.
Yes, they do compare, sir, because of the competition. It happens. Okay, it happens.
नहीं, आप सुनो ना, थोड़ा सुनो यार. भारती जी, by nature, human beings compare. 19-20 का तो होता है फर्क. वो छिटुआ है. He is the youngest in I really like that youngest. By nature, human beings compare, but by attitude, we should not discriminate. Awareness helps you not to discriminate. Similarly, as teachers, by nature, you would like few students. You will not like all the students in your class. Nature hai, fitrat hai. But by attitude, you need to be equidistant, and you need to practice emotional equity and educational equity. By attitude.
Yes.
So, for example, I still remember this exercise which I do. I tell all the teachers in schools that every day when you go out of the class after your lecture, you pick up 2 kids and just put your hands around them and say, "How are you?" Walk with them 25 feet, and you see the change happening in them. And actually, in turns, if you do that in a month, you will actually cover around 50-60 kids. So somebody interpreted it as touch therapy. And then she started that as, come on, roll number 1, 2, tum tayar ho jao abhi, kal to roll number 3, 4. Then it lost its meaning. So consciously going to the kid whom you have completely forgotten, who's not there in your range, is so important, because by nature we see differences. By attitude we should practice equity, emotional as well as education. Having said that, what is very important is, there's a formula which I have been sharing for the last 25 years, 30 years to all parents. Acceptance upon expectations has to be greater than 1. Perception.
Okay. Acceptance upon expectations. Okay.
The perception of the child that my parents accept me more than they expect from me. That is a very powerful thing. And how does it come? It comes when parents and teachers understand that there are 4 needs of students in hierarchy. And I'll say that. Anupama, it would have been a good idea if children would have posted anonymous questions in the chat box. कारण काही लोकांना वाटतंय ना, सगळे मुली आहेत तिथे.
हो, नक्की. नाही, नक्की मी तुमच्याशी सहमत आहे.
So I'll just finish the answer. And so what do kids need under 18? First is emotional safety and security. कुछ भी करेंगे तो हमको ठोक ठाक के माँ बाप ठीक करेंगे, कुछ भी करेंगे तो हमारे शिक्षक लोग ठोक ठाक के हमको ठीक करेंगे, हमें फेंकेंगे नहीं. अरे तुम्हारा कॉलेज एक रिहैबिलिटेशन सेंटर है, करेक्शन सेंटर है यार, और फैमिली इज आल्सो करेक्शन. कुछ भी हुआ, sometimes boys can end up stealing, lying, and being involved in antisocial acts as a seen in research, and girls can end up getting pregnant when they meet with accidents in life. I'd say accidents. That's the time when parents should say, मेरा बच्चा है, मुझे खराब लगा कि मेरा बेटे ने ऐसा किया, मेरी बेटी ने ऐसा किया, but I'll hug him a little longer and a little stronger. And emotional safety and security is the first need of the child in schools and institutions. Number 2 is trust. Number 3 is respect, and last is love. So I think that is the answer to the problem. By nature, we differentiate. By attitude, we should practice, and it's very difficult to practice. It's a conscious effort to be emotionally equitable and educationally equitable. Thank you for that beautiful question, ma'am. Neha,
thank you for a beautiful answer, sir. Thank you so much.
Neha has raised her hand.
हेलो सर, थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग योर टिप्स. जो भी आपने बताया बहुत यूजफुल था. बट क्या होता है कि कुछ स्टूडेंट्स जो है वो 11th में उनके लाइक बेसिक्स बहुत क्लियर है, बहुत क्लियर अच्छे से हो गए थे, उन्होंने अच्छे से पढ़ाई की, लेकिन 12th में आके सब भूल गए क्योंकि एक गैप पड़ गया था बीच में, पैंडेमिक में उन्होंने स्टडी करना भूल गए. तो लाइक सारे कॉन्सेप्ट्स को वापस रिकॉल करना कैसे होगा, मतलब इतने कम टाइम में?
नेहा, आपके बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स के फोन नंबर्स आप भूल गए क्या? नेहा,
नहीं बट लाइक नहीं बट लाइक जो स्टूडेंट्स है वो भी, मतलब जो बेस्ट फ्रेंड्स हैं वो भी भूल गए हैं.
उनके फोन नंबर्स आप भूल गए? आप रखे हो ना?
हाँ. और
आप उनको फोन करते रहते हो ना? आपके बैंक में जो है ना तो पैसा आप भूल गए कितना है आपके अकाउंट में? नहीं भूलते हैं क्योंकि हम उस पासबुक को बार-बार चेक करते हैं या ऑनलाइन जाके देखते हैं हमारा अभी अकाउंट कितना है. सो व्हाट इज एक्सट्रीमली इंपॉर्टेंट इज इट इज नॉट बुलिंग. थोड़ा जेडेड हुआ है, थोड़ा घस गया है, थोड़ा सब्सटेंस इवेपोरेट हुआ है. तो ऐसा है कि इन द प्रैक्टिस ऑफ साइकियाट्री, मैं जब प्रैक्टिस करता हूँ, हमारे CMEs होते रहते हैं. CMEs यानी constantly we update ourselves, and our basics are so strongly ground that they will never leave us, because what you learn first you lose last in life. You will never forget the name of your husband when you are 17, but you'll forget what you have eaten yesterday. So what is very important Neha for us is ये gap को कैसे हम उसका फायदा लेंगे, which means what? Never waste a crisis. Crisis is a place where there is accelerated learning and there is resilience development. So आप यदि भूल गए तो उसे फिर से जाके दोहराना, फिर से पढ़ना. और the best method in 10th and in 12th and in 11th is चार बच्चे आपस में बात करते हैं एक दूसरे से वो अंताक्षरी खेलते हैं of अंताक्षरी of the questions and quickly ask each other, and in that joyous moment memory is much better. Memory is much better. But when you read like a Satyaran Puja, then you don't remember. Any concept associated with emotion is remembered more. So we remember most of our joyous moments, our honeymoons, our engagements, our marriages, our birth of the child. All mothers remember the birth of the child, not the marriage. Because there's a lot of joy. And we do not forget humiliating moments. Why? Those stories are stored because it's bound by the emotions of pain. So when concept is stored with an emotion, it is remembered much better. So all concepts, when they're stored with stories, the memory is much better. All concepts are stored as just lines or words or numbers, the memory is less. So to enhance and improve your concepts, go back to it, replay it again and again, रियाज करो उसका रियाज और उसके साथ साथ उससे भावना के साथ जोड़ दो. We remember our illness, patients of illness, because of the stories around the illness. And that gives you a great memory. So there's no excuse, Neha. I'm thankful for you asking this beautiful question. And we should all practice to say that in commerce, the basic foundation should be well grounded so that you can build a monument across your life on those concepts.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Neha ji.
Any other questions, students? Sir, I just want to ask you one question. Can I?
Yeah, of course.
One more question, rather. Yeah. So, throughout this program, you have been, giving such inspirational advice to students. But then I want you to, give us something for the parents as well, because as you know, some students are inherently, very weak by nature, and there is not much one can do about it. So what happens is that the parents of such children, they literally lose their heart. They're disheartened. Why? Because their child cannot compete in the rat race, and their child is always left behind. So then, what are your words of advice and your suggestion for such parents?
I do not use the word weak at all. I always say that we have different abilities, and if we allow a space for the capability, but I agree with you that everybody will not be as good in accounts as a few. Everybody will not be as good in eco as a few. Everybody would not be as good as others in maths. You also have maths, no?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Other option subject for maths is something else.
Yes, it is SP, secretarial practice.
SP. So I think a very realistic educational assessment, guidance assessment is very important to find where this child will fit. I still remember this boy years ago. He could relate beautifully to friends. He could create a group, get work done from a group, but he scored only around 50% in the 12th. But he was a charmer. He could get an orchestra going and get people to do. So in short, in those olden days, he was chalu, but in the newer definition, he had great interpersonal intelligence. He is one of the greatest marketing managers in his company, and he hires IIM graduates. So when you say weak in studies, sometimes these guys get openings and they get mentors. They get mentors, and they find a slot in their lifetime. So I think what is very important is keep the parents encouraged, but at the same time help them to see the reality कि accounts में कितना भी किया तो उसको वो accounting जमता नहीं. Concept में उसका problem, पर उसके और गुण क्या क्या है, and that I think as ma'am said so beautifully, they have a self for children with differences. I'm really touched by this, and I would want more information so that I can put it up in certain groups so that other principals also start the same self. I would say that in our college at HR, we need to look at how we can tap the other resources which you all do. HR does a lot of extracurricular activities, and see that they move ahead. At the same time, how to explain to parents. I do this. I show them the entire report card of the child across from KG to 12. I said this. This is what he has been scoring because his ability to reproduce matter in a certain subject is not as good as it should be, and this is where he stands. I would advise you to go to a good educational counselor, a good career guidance counselor, a good one, who can look at his abilities under a microscope and with the plethora of opportunities which are available as of now, so that he or she can find where his slot lies. So that I think is important. And as a teacher, ma'am, if you believe that this child is not good in accounts, he might score only 60 or 40 or 50, but probably he can do something else. And if there's something else, if you are able to keep that light on and help the parent, guide the parents to check what is that something else, that needs a little more time. It may not be, it will be tough for professors to do it. It would be easier for us, a team of people inside a college, probably senior students, uh, or your professional counselor to do it. So I think saying that this kid can't do so well in accounts, but let's explore something else is the only way by which we can get the parents out. Thank you for that question, Anupama. That's a very good question. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any more questions coming up? Dr. Harish Shetty, sir, I truly appreciate your patience in answering all our queries with, by giving practical solutions to, each and every one of them. But, as they say, the final word has to come from our vice principal of our college, Professor Ms. Lajo Sharma, and she's going to say a few words. And after which we all are going to pose for a group picture for our college magazine. Over to Professor Lajo Sharma.
Just before ma'am says, I would like to quote from a yoga health guru. I would say her name is Nupur Bishwas, and she has sent a beautiful message to all the students. And she says this: I think students need to switch off from all things, stress related every day for some time, and just breathe. Focusing on one's breath really helps to relax the body and calm the mind. As soon as you feel relaxed and calmer, you're able to handle any situation a lot better. Yoga and meditation would surely help in a big way to help de-stress and take care of your mental health. And I believe every word what she said. Thank you.
That's a nice one, sir. Over to Lajo Sharma, ma'am.
Thank you, Anupama. Thank you very much, Dr. Harish Shetty. Thanks a lot for accepting our invitation and interacting with our students. There are many who are listening to you on YouTube. I hope students will get now organized and set smart goals. At the same time, as you rightly said, they will try to raise their bar. They need to be positive. And of course, I believe a healthy mind and healthy body is more important. So they need to exercise well, eat well, sleep well, be optimistic. And yes, my dear students, I know now after interaction with Dr. Harish Shetty, you will definitely unwind yourself as suggested by him and lead a disciplined life and dance your way to the exams. That is more important because exams are going to happen. But don't think that it's a big headache on you or so. You have studied all these years, the entire time. You have scheduled yourself. You now have the goals for yourself. And Doctor, I owe immense thanks to you, because when I told you you have to talk to my students with regard to their stress, because this was when I was getting umpteen calls from the parents, from the students. Ma'am, will there be exam? Will there be board exams? How to react to it? Parents were asking, ma'am, when are you going to give them hall tickets? I have not yet distributed the hall tickets. And they were asking me umpteen questions. What if I get corona at that time, ma'am? When will I be able to give exam? And when I used to get these questions, I said, this is a time when I need to invite a person, a very renowned person like you, to address my students. And in fact, one of my teachers, English teacher, Anita Gandhi ma'am, she is not here right now. I think she must be in the lecture. And she said, yes, even I have got the calls from these students. They are really stressed out. Ma'am, can you do something for them? I said, now I have to call Dr. Harish Shetty and tell him to please interact with my students. Thank you, doctor, for sparing your valuable time with us today. With this and in fact, in the conversation and the communication with you all these days, I also learned a lot from you. And first, I don't know, of course, I will send a personal chat to you the way I learned from you in our communication. That I owe immense thanks to you. I thank all my team, the entire team, Anupama Savant ma'am. I thank my students, my commandos who are all here. And of course, I thank Shubham Sangvi, who is with us, who has joined with us, and who is the one who is organizing with regard to and even looking after the technicals for YouTube and all the way from Dubai. So he said, yes, ma'am, I will be there, because this session is very important. They wanted to hear you, doctor. That is more important. The moment I said, Dr. Harish Shetty is going to come to our college, and they said, yes, ma'am, we are there. That is what I feel like. I'm humbled by this gesture of you giving consent to be with us today. Thank you very much, Dr. Harish Shetty.
Thank you
very
much for inviting me. Thank you, dear ones, for checking my slides. Rajvi for opening the show. Anupama for introducing me. Shubham for actually doing that from Dubai. My God, what a guy, what a guy. And thank you all students who are here. 12th standard is not a milestone, but it's a stone with many miles to go. If you have corona, no issues at all. You have bigger time as you survive, but see to it that you do not, you play safe, mask, and you ask your parents to have vaccination. Even if you have corona, HSC board will find ways to see to it that you will be able to appear for the exams. Thank you.
Thank you.
Rishabh, are you taking the group picture for the college magazine?
Anupama, am I audible? Good evening.
Yes, yeah, ma'am has joined us.
Oh. So we are having our respected principal ma'am, Dr. Pooja Ramchandani. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, dear. Good afternoon. And I think right time that I joined, and I was listening to Laju ma'am's to Dr. Harish Shetty. I think dream come true when we have a persona like Dr. Harish Shetty coming in and talking to our students. I think most sought after doctor I have heard him when we were doing our educational course in BTTC, and he had come once. And as a faculty, that was the first time we had interacted with him. And what a personality makes the life of a student, a person who's listening to him, so simple. I mean, a situation like stress, when you talk to him, he will वैसे अरे ये तो मैं ऐसे ही सोच रहा था. Doctor was so right. And I think I must thank my junior college team comprising of Vice Principal Laju ma'am, and I think this idea came from Miss Anita Gandhi. She deserves this because she got your contact through dial-in, gave it to us. We got in touch with you, and special thank you to coming in virtually and giving a kind of tips and mantras. It was so lucky I was listening. Corona hai to kya hua? Don't worry. I mean, somebody who is talking like this, you should join the Modi government and please sit on CM's chair. And
My son,
everybody is scaring us कि corona है, घर से बाहर मत निकलो.
my son, who's as old as these guys, as corona, he is now quarantined at my own house. So corona, what तो क्या होगा देख लेंगे यार.
So lucky that he's quarantined, getting a young mind.
Inside
But-
my house quarantine, and I've got two old people at home, 84-year and 78-year-old. So no issues. Let's fight it.
Yeah. I think the fear that has gone out through media has actually scared more than the disease. People are living in fear. Even if they don't get it, my neighbor got it, it is a fear, oh my God. कि भूत प्रेत की तरह मेरे घर में भी घुस आएगा and so on.
Vaccine is vaccine. So both are important.
Yes.
So
Thank you.
take care.
Yes.
Don't be reckless, because
Yes.
nothing will happen to you, but you'll hurt your parents and your grandparents.
True. Thank you so much, Dr. Harish ji, and to my entire junior college team and my dear students and parents who have joined in, even on YouTube and on Zoom. I think this session was an initiative by us that we are a family. You all are a part of family as students. Attend lectures, learn. This is your life to learn. Examination is just one way that you test whether you have learned it or not, but it is not the only way. You have your skills, develop your skills. We have so many clubs, join them, come and speak, come and participate, enjoy, write, speak, dance, speak to each other. I think you have many more things to do. And always we say HRites rock, and HR will make everything that you will be rocking everywhere, even if it is your career, in your exams. My proud faculty, I'm proud of the faculty because they ensure daily from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock, they make sure that Zoom lectures are taken, teachers are teaching each other how to become host. I think they have also gone through a very difficult time in last 1 year. So salute to all my teachers, the vice principal, the supervisor, and my dear students. And special thanks, Doctor, to coming in here and thoda sa stress kam karna. I would say please take one session with my teachers also and tell us, we as teachers have been only watching screens. Give us some mantras, how we cope up with our own stress of struggling with students on the Zoom networks. So I would always request you to come virtually as well as officially offline when the things go cool down, and proud moment that you have joined us in HR College for our 12th standard students. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Pooja ma'am, for those valuable words. So with that, Lacho ma'am, should we end the session?
You need to have a photograph for this magazine.
Yes, definitely. Now that Pooja ma'am, everyone is here.
And tell some of the students also to switch on their videos so that
students, yes, I agree. Students, kindly switch on your cameras. This is for the college magazine. Rishabh, are you doing the needful?
Yeah, ma'am. I'm taking the screenshot.
Yeah.
Okay. Done, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Rishabh. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Harish Shetty, Lajo ma'am, Pooja ma'am, everyone.
Do well. We'll meet up sometime in an industry when you're vice president, president, MD, CEO,
yes.
HR chief, whatever. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Thank you all the faculty, all the Sharmas here. Too many Sharmas.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.